What's up, guys? Mike here, and today I am going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch demo event that I was lucky enough to go to yesterday, or on Monday. I'm recording this on Tuesday, the 16th of January. I was lucky enough to go yesterday actually, to the Nintendo Switch event in New York City with a bunch of awesome people. I got to hang out with Beast Gamer Kuma. I got to hang out with my buddies over at Video Game Tidbits, who were nice enough to provide a lot of good photos for my vlog video. If you guys didn't already check out the vlog video, definitely please go back and watch that, because we had a lot of fun. We were standing out in the cold like crazy. Of course, I have to give special thanks again to my buddy Court951 for going out of his way to drive us in the morning. Like 2 a.m., he came to my house to hang out, and I'm just like, hey, yo, Court, you want to go try out the Switch? Let's go on an adventure. And me, my buddy Court, and my girlfriend, we literally just got in the car like 2 o'clock in the morning. We just went right to Manhattan. We got to this place about 4 a.m. I met someone really awesome, though. We also ran into another YouTuber named Rectify Gaming. He was like the first one there. We hung out with him a bit. But today is going to be about discussing everything I tried out at the event, all the different ways that I held the Joy-Cons and everything. I do have to give a couple of points first before I do actually start this whole review of the event and everything, because there were some things that were really awesome about the event, and one or two things that I got really kind of pissed off about. I'm going to just talk about this because this wasn't really shown in the vlog too much, but we literally got there at like 4 o'clock in the morning, so we literally stood in the cold, I think, for like a good, I don't know, maybe 3.5, 4 hours, waiting for our wristbands in order to get inside. There was another group that showed up at like 5:30 in the morning, and they completely cut the line. Those people were like absolutely, completely obnoxious. They actually still managed to become part of the first group. I was kind of pissed off about that, but there was literally a group that showed up like an hour and a half after all of us did, because we weren't supposed to officially form a line until 7, but us Nintendo fans, you know how early we are to these things. So we ended up getting there at 4 o'clock in the morning, and the other people ended up showing up at 5:30, and they managed to cut the line, even though I had video footage of everything. I didn't like the fact that they still let those people in, though. There was like a good 15 people that were literally calling people assholes because, you know, they were first in line, and everyone was telling them, hey, you guys should go to the back of the line. You know, we've been waiting here for an extra hour and a half. It was just a mess, but I didn't give a crap, though. It was still good. I still got in the first group. But still, I just wish that the security guard would have handled things a little better in terms of that. But other than that, he knew that we were there first, though, so we at least made sure that we got our wristbands. So I guess, at the end of the day, that's still kind of meh. But other than that, though, I have to give a lot of credit to the staff, though, that ran this event. The staff at the actual demo event, when we got inside, the actual staff inside the event was really awesome. They were really fun to hang out with. They were very knowledgeable. They answered all my questions about the Switch, everything about specs and everything. And we even ran into one of the people that actually produces and develops the games over at Nintendo Treehouse. I'm actually going to put a picture of him in here, too. He was really awesome to talk to. I really enjoyed having a conversation with him. He was nice enough to tell me a lot about Breath of the Wild. And believe it or not, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is actually going to be my first Legend of Zelda game that I've ever gotten to play, ever. I've never touched a Zelda game in my life, but he convinced me that Legend of Zelda is going to be a good game to get on day one, so yeah, thanks to the guy that we talked to. I think his name was JT. He was talking to us while we were waiting for ARMS. But again, just a huge shout out to the staff for being very knowledgeable, and the way that they handled the event was very nice. They basically gave out like 3 groups of wristbands. We were the first group that was red, then the next group was like green, and then the third group was blue. Alright, now that I got all that stuff out of the way, the only other thing I'm going to mention is that they did give out wristbands and everything. All the events, the 3 groups that went in pretty much had an hour and a half, so I had like 90 minutes to try out as much stuff as possible. And also, before we even get started, I have to give a huge shout out to the producer of Street Fighter, Yoshinori Ono. He was actually at the event, and I was awesome enough to meet him and get his autograph and get a photo on him. Dude's very awesome to talk to. I honestly think he did a really amazing job on the new Street Fighter, the Final Challengers that's going to be coming to the Switch. Even though it wasn't one of the games I tried out, I saw plenty of gameplay. And that also looked really good, but, alright. With all the little casualties and stuff out of the way, I am now going to get into everything that I managed to try out. Before I actually get into that, one last thing, though. They weren't actually able to let us record gameplay footage or anything, so as I'm going through all the games I'm talking about, you're probably just going to see a picture of either me or my buddy Court951 actually holding the Joy-Cons in the way that they allowed us to play for the games, because we were able to take pictures of us holding the Joy-Cons, holding the gamepad and everything. I'm just going to give my thoughts on all the games that I got to try out as I'm going along, though. Alright. So, the first game that I was lucky enough to try out was Splatoon 2. There was two ways that we could play Splatoon 2. There was handheld mode, where the Joy-Cons are connected to the tablet. That was the way that I tried out. And then there was the Pro Controller on the TV. I didn't try out the Pro Controller mode on the TV, though, but I did try it out in handheld mode. So, in handheld mode, it pretty much feels like Splatoon 1. So, pretty much, you move around the camera in order to look around and everything. You use the right stick to tilt around. ZR is to use the ink. ZL is to turn into a squid and swim through everything. The new feature that they have on Splatoon 2, which was really nice, is if you press, I think it's either the X or the Y button, you can literally just press the D-pad in any of the directions and press A, and that allows you to super jump to your teammates, like in the original Splatoon. So that's a lot more streamlined, a lot more fast. Splatoon 2, I really have to say, even though people were saying it's like not a direct sequel, there's not really too many differences. From the demo that I tried out, there's plenty of differences with Splatoon 2. The graphics look a lot better. The gamepad screen and everything, all the graphics basically look a lot sharper, a lot cleaner. It's got an improvement on it compared to the Wii U, especially on the gamepad screen, because the gamepad screen itself is actually very nice and bright. On the Wii U's gamepad, I feel like the colors were kind of washed out a bit, so I didn't really feel like the gamepad's screen was ideal, but I could already tell, bringing the Switch on the go and actually like using a Pro Controller with the tablet on the stand, that's going to be a really nice experience. The game ran in like 720p, I think it's 60 frames. The gameplay on Splatoon 2 was really actually very smooth on there. But one thing I gotta say about the Joy-Cons and holding it in handheld mode right away is that it feels a lot better than the Wii U's gamepad for sure. The buttons and the thumbsticks are kind of small when you first hold on to them, but that's to be expected. The Joy-Cons are about half the size of the Wii remote. But it still felt really nice in handheld mode. I was able to hold all the buttons and everything fine, even with my right hand like this. But Splatoon 2, a really interesting thing. We had like 2 matches that we were able to play. I was like team, I think green, and I think another team color. I think there was like green and purple, I think blue and orange like in Splatoon 1. So first round I tried out the roller, because if you guys have watched any of my Splatoon streams, the roller was pretty much my go-to weapon though. I love using rollers. I'm going to enjoy using the roller again. There was a new special that I was able to use where your Inkling basically jumps in the air and punches the ground. It literally just creates a shockwave of ink everywhere, which is pretty damn dope. So that was a lot of fun to use. And then I also got to try out the Splat Dualies, the dual pistols basically of the game, and that was a lot of fun. It was really good rapid fire. I was able to knock out Inklings with like about 4 or 5 rounds of the pistols. It was really awesome to actually try out Splatoon 2. I wasn't able to figure out the rolling though, but I saw other people rolling, and I see that it's going to be very good for combat. The gameplay honestly was very fast for Splatoon 2. There wasn't too long of it. I probably played that for like a good 5 or 10 minutes maybe before they ended up ushering in the next amount of people though. But from what I got with Splatoon 2, it's definitely going to be worth picking up day one. And then right next to Splatoon 2, I moved on to Sonic Mania. And you guys already know me. I did a whole discussion about the Sonic 25th anniversary titles with my buddy the Flaming Zebra on my channel here. I was really hyped to try out Sonic Mania. It was right next to Splatoon basically. So after that, I pretty much tried out Sonic Mania though. So in terms of Sonic Mania, Court actually tried it out alongside me. So what we did was, Court tried out Green Hill Zone and I tried out the new zone, Studiopolis. Those were the only 2 zones that were up for demo. If you can see in the picture over there, I pretty much held the Joy-Con on its side. This is not one of my favorite features of the Joy-Con. I'm not really thinking a lot of people are going to probably hold it like this. But, the Joy-Con was pretty comfortable though holding it on its side. You know, the ZL, when you take it one Joy-Con out and you twist it on its side, you have the buttons in the front that pretty much latch on when you click it back into the Switch. So you pretty much use the thumbstick as the joystick, and then you had the X button to jump, whatever. If you hold the Joy-Con on its side, whatever button was on the right was pretty much the jump button. Most of the buttons were jump. I was having a little bit of a hard time figuring out how to do the Sonic's drop dash and everything, so I really couldn't figure that out. You were only able to play as Sonic and Tails or just Sonic by himself though, but no Knuckles gameplay. But from what I played of Sonic Mania though, I am very impressed with how his momentum feels compared to the Genesis days. I am honestly looking very much forward to playing Sonic Mania, though. I honestly hope it's a launch title. That's still one of the biggest gripes I have with the Switch, but I'm going to save that for Friday's video, where I talk about the Switch presentation that was held on the 12th. But other than that, though, Sonic Mania was really good. It felt like the Sonic Genesis days. The sprites and everything look really well polished. I'm very impressed with what they did with Sonic Mania. I'm looking forward to all the new zones that they got. The representative said that there's still plenty of zones and stuff that they didn't announce yet, and they didn't talk about They did tell me that there are going to be special stages for the Chaos Emeralds on that. So, other than the Joy-Con not being comfortable holding too much on its side, it's still a pretty solid option if you don't bring any of your other controllers on the go. It's definitely still usable, but I probably wouldn't go for it as my first choice, though. After that, we ended up playing Super Bomberman R, which is actually going to be a launch title. This was my chance to hold the Pro Controller, so the Nintendo Switch's Pro Controller is a nice step up from the Wii U's Pro Controller. Super Bomberman R, you know, if you guys have ever played classic Bomberman on the Super Nintendo, that's pretty much what you're getting here. We played the battle mode. I was fighting like a good couple of other people. It was a whole 8-player battle. You know how it goes. You leave bombs, the bombs explode the blocks, and you grab all the power-ups. You had the speed skates. You had the bombs for extra bombs, bomb kicking, bomb punching. You know, if you guys have ever seen the classic Bomberman, you pretty much know what you're getting into, but still, I think it's going to be a very solid launch title. Everything looks pretty realistic with the graphics. I thought the graphics could be a little bit more polished on it, though, but in terms of what it is, though, it's a very solid Bomberman title gameplay-wise. I definitely think it's a pretty solid day one purchase. If you don't know what you're getting besides Zelda Breath of the Wild, I would definitely suggest Bomberman. I believe that the representative did say that Bomberman R will be online playable, I believe, but I can't 100% confirm that. But actually holding the Nintendo Switch's Pro Controller, I think it's definitely a nice step up from the Wii U's Pro Controller, because on the sides, it has very nice cushion grips. With the Wii U's Pro Controller, you just have a solid black finish, though, but on the Wii U's, I keep saying Wii U, on the Switch's Pro Controller, you have a nice smoke finish, though I'm not sure if I'm a fan of it being a little transparent. You can kind of see inside of it and everything, but the middle of it is a smoke color. You can kind of see where the support beams are to actually see the inside of the controller. But on the bottom, on the sides, you have these nice rubberized grips, and actually holding those in my hands, while we were waiting in between matches, I was kind of like playing around with it, like pretending I was playing Mario Kart and everything. But the Switch's Pro... I'm going to have a hard time freaking switching from Wii U to Switch. But the Switch's Pro Controller feels really nice, though, in my hands. I would definitely suggest getting one day one, though, because that's probably what I'm going to do. The Switch's Pro Controller is definitely nicer feeling than the Wii U's Pro Controller. I can definitely tell you that much. Honestly, I'm probably going to make a separate video about this, or at least talk about it in the presentation video, but it looks like the Wii U Pro Controller and any other Wii accessories are basically not compatible with the Switch, so that also includes the GameCube adapter, which I'm kind of upset about, but still, if that's what we're moving on from, the Wii U, the freaking Switch's Pro Controller is a very solid option, though. I definitely think that a Switch Pro Controller is probably one of the most comfortable options I played on the show floor. I think that the Switch's Pro Controller is definitely a good option, though, but Bomberman R was a lot of fun to play. It was a good time. And now we're going to move on to the final game that I got to try out over there, because I was only able to do so much in 90 minutes. I will talk about other stuff that I did see as I was walking around on the show floor, though, after I talk about this next game. And that is ARMS. ARMS was a really sick title. I honestly was looking forward to trying this one out at the event, though. The one problem is that with my right hand here, if you guys can see, I only have 4 fingers on my right hand, so my thumb is a little bit harder. Like, look, you could probably see the problem. Like, I can move my thumb like this, but this is it. In terms of mobility, this is all I got on my right hand, though, so playing ARMS was a little bit difficult, though, because they have you guys are going to probably see the picture up by now, but you literally hold a Joy-Con in each hand, though, and you literally have to do it like this. Like the R button here was for jumping, and I believe the L button was for dashing. And then you literally just tilt the controllers like this side to side, though. But again, I'm going to just demonstrate. Like, look, you can see how well I can move my wrist with that. I'm going to do the same thing here, though. You can see I'm literally just trying to twist it as best as I can, but this is all I have in terms of mobility on my right arm. So honestly, trying to do this was very difficult for me, though. So I was kind of upset that I had a little bit of a hard time in the demo. Still didn't stop me from kicking my buddy Cord951's ass at least once or twice, but he beat my ass a few times too, though. But the one thing I could definitely say is that other than the controls on ARMS, I enjoyed the gameplay, really good gameplay. I enjoyed playing as some of the characters. There was this really sick ninjutsu character called Ninjara. That was who I played as once, and then I played, I believe, as the mechanical girl, Mechana. And honestly, the gameplay was very solid. Everything about ARMS was amazing other than the control issues, but I did ask the representative if there was going to be traditional controls, because I've been reading around that there are going to be traditional controls for ARMS. I don't know if that's the case. If there's only motion controls, I might not want to play ARMS because of my arm mobility. But controls aside, ARMS is definitely worth purchasing day one, though. I kind of hope that there's still traditional gameplay control options for me and my right hand here. Because, you know, when it comes to me and arm mobility, I'm not good with motion controls. This is no problem, though. But with me, honestly, trying to wave around the Wii Remote with my right arm is pretty much... It's difficult. It's doable, but it's difficult. So I kind of do hope that ARMS does have traditional controls. But those are all the games that I pretty much tried out at the Switch event. But everything else, I have plenty of other details to talk to you guys about really quickly before I do end this. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was at the event. The line was way too big by the time I wanted to play it. Because you know, basically, I'm a little disappointed in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I'll probably talk more about it when I talk about the presentation Friday. But I also kind of see where they're going at. But all they really added was battle mode. And it doesn't seem like there's any new racetracks from what I asked the representatives. But we still have 7 weeks worth of surprises to wait for. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's graphics are a lot sharper than the Wii U's. And I also happen to see people playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in tablet mode. You know, they had the Joy-Con wheels driving around on the tablet. And the tablet was very smooth. It ran Mario Kart 8 Deluxe very smoothly in person. So honestly, graphical issues with the Switch are pretty much almost irrelevant. It depends on the game, though, still. One of the other Nintendo representatives that I managed to talk to at the event said there are plenty more surprises to come in the next 7 weeks. And I'm going to talk about this during the presentation thoughts on Friday, but I definitely don't think that this is the end of launch titles, though. I definitely think we're going to be getting a little bit more by the time the actual Switch arrival comes around the corner. But the last thing that I tried out was the demo station, where they actually allowed you to take the Joy-Cons, put them into the tablet, and actually see the transition between tablet screen to TV screen when you put it in and out of the dock. And also trying out the Joy-Con charger grip. Believe it or not, the Joy-Con charger grip is actually the second most comfortable option that I tried out. The one that kind of looks like a dog's ears. If I don't buy a Switch's Pro Controller on day one, the Joy-Con charger grip is probably going to be my go-to, because the charger grip actually felt really nice and comfortable. I'd say it felt like let's see, if I put my hands in front of me like this, this is pretty much what the charger grip felt like. If you held the Wii U gamepad before, you basically know what you're holding in terms of the Switch's gamepad. And then the Switch's Pro Controller feels a little bit nicer than the Wii U's Pro Controller. But I gotta tell you, actually moving the Joy-Con, there's a little button on the back of the Joy-Con that actually lets you slip it out of the actual stand and everything. And there's little guardrails that let you snap it into the different stuff, though. And it makes a very solid clicking noise when you actually insert it completely into the peripheral that you're using. So there's no need to worry about the Switch's thing falling on the floor or anything like that. The only way you're going to do that is if you're stupid enough to press the buttons while you're holding on to it and hope that it just play Russian roulette with the damn thing, though. But I don't think anyone's going to be stupid enough to actually drop their console on the floor. But I got to tell you, from putting the Switch into the actual tablet and lifting it up, the transition was literally a switch. It was literally a snap. Less than 2 seconds, and the image popped up on my tablet as I was putting it in and out, though. And when you put it back in, it's literally 2 seconds transition time between the two, and I was very impressed with that. It may take an extra second or two depending on what game you're using, but I can tell you right now, the gimmicks are not a lie. You can literally switch between tablet and console mode, no problem. It's very seamless. Even though it took like a second or two, it's very fast. You don't even blink it and it already happens. I was very impressed by that. I also did a little bit of snooping around. It looks like all the buttons, like volume control, the game card slot, and everything is on the top of the Switch itself. And if you remove the kickstand on the back of the actual Switch, if you actually pop out the kickstand, that is where the micro SD card goes. It goes on the back of the kickstand. The Switch, when you actually put the kickstand in, it actually covers the micro SD card slot. And I'm sure that you probably click in the micro SD XC card. And the representative said that you could put up to 2 terabytes worth of SD card space into there. Even though I believe the highest right now is like 512 gigabytes. And I believe Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is going to be like 14 gigabytes. So yeah, the Switch is definitely going to be a huge upgrade compared to the Wii U. The only thing I found kind of ugly was the blue and red Joy-Cons. The blue one had a nice like baby blue shade. Nice little aqua shade. But the red Joy-Con kind of looked a little bit pinkish to me. But I think it might have been the lighting in there. I kind of hope it's a nice solid dark red like my little mouse pad here or my Red Monster logo. I'm still going to pick up a set of red Joy-Cons though regardless, but that is pretty much everything I have to say about the Nintendo Switch's demo event. Again, these thoughts are separate from the Nintendo Switch's presentation that took place on January 12th. I will be talking about those in a separate video coming very soon though, so definitely stay tuned for that. But again, if you guys enjoyed this video and you found this video very helpful of everything that I tried out at the Switch's event, definitely hit that like button. Definitely leave a comment. If you guys have any questions about the event, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. I will be more than happy to answer them. If you guys aren't already subscribed, definitely subscribe, become a fellow Monster Gamer today. And if you guys haven't already followed me on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord, you guys already know what to do. Follow the links down in the description. I'm also going to leave a link to Court951, Beast Gamer Kuma, Video Game Tidbits, and Rectify Gaming, and my boy Silverstone down in the description below for all their help that they did at the event, though. But until the next video, my fellow Monster Gamers, thank you guys as always for watching, and take care.